I love alchemy. This profession has single-handedly made me so much gold, it is insane. So today we'll be going over how I go about printing gold with alchemy, starting with the basics to my biggest money makers, and how you can do it too. Let us begin. First off, it is wise to cover the basic method I use to make daily gold, and that is of course current content pots and flasks. I know, I have said this a lot, but it works so well that it has got to be covered. If you are starting out, it is wise to start with the bare bone basics of selling potions and flasks for the current expansion. This not only gets you used to how the alchemy market works, but also gives you key insights of your own server's performance that a video guide cannot tell you, because every server is different. But the one thing is for sure, potion and flasks sell. This is due to the fact that players buy these, for example, with raids. Players tend to buy these most frequently upon raid nights, and this is where they sell the most. Though it is wise to be keeping a full supply on the auction house at all times, you will want to make sure that you have this supply on the auction house on resets and weekends, as this is where you will get the most sales. Trends are good, but do dwindle. This is somewhat good, as the price for crafting these can be at a negative for those nights. So the question is, how do I craft them? Well, you will want to check your server for when the prices drop. This can easily be done by the use of the Undermine journal for the herbs required for crafting and buying when the price drops to a profitable rate. However, my rule of thumb is that I source my materials on Sundays, Mondays and Tuesdays just before an EU reset. This is where I found that the prices are at their lowest, and as such I will craft them on those nights. Another great way to make gold is by utilizing the mastery of transmutation. This can only be learned if you have maxed your vanilla alchemy, and oh boy is it worth it. The proc rate of crafting with Transmutation Master is around 20%, and on average if you craft, let's say, 100 living steel, the proc rate would be that you would receive 120 of them instead. This being that you will have gotten to have an extra amount of living steel for no additional fee, only the cost of crafting the 100. Though it is worth noting that it is not a definite that you will receive 120 from 100. This is just the average. But the point is, any additional procs are extra gold for crafting these. Transmutes you should do for this crafting, I would suggest, is True Gold, Riddle Steel for Living Steel, and Arcanite Bars to get you started. Another thing to mention is that the masteries are great for additional proc chances, but remember that these procs only apply to crafts up to the Mists of Pandaria expansion. This goes for all alchemy masteries. Next up we have the Elixir Master. Now elixirs are a funny one. This is because there are not any elixirs that are worth crafting. However, the Flask of Winds and the Flask of Titanic Strength are prized ones in my books, as they are used in the creation of the Vial of the Sounds mount, which I can use the additional procs to sell right out on the auction house, or even use them to make a super cheap mount than my competitors and be more competitive with my pricing. This goes quite nicely with Potion Master, as there is really only one notable potion to create that I do every week to make gold. This is the Potion of Treasure Finding. I will usually batch craft a ton of these and sell my crafts on the auction house. However, with my additional proc potions that I am left with the option of selling those on the auction house or use them in my cataclysm farms, so I am able to gain more gold per hour when I am farming, bringing my overall returns up even further. Another proc item, but not mastery based, is the Silas Orb of Transmutation. This item is obtained by doing the BFA Alchemy Tools of the Trade for this profession. This is because if I am crafting BFA potions and flasks, I am able to proc more, equaling in more gold. However, you will be wanting to use this correctly. Once you have the item, upon using it, you are not guaranteed to gain the buff for additional proc. You see, after pressing the item, you have a chance of generating the Silas Potion of Prosperity. This has a duration of 1 hour and can be pressed within that hour for a buff for 20 minutes of increasing your proc chance for crafting potions and flasks for Battle for Azeroth. The average is a proc rate of 1.7 for rank 3 in the potion and flasks you are crafting, or 1.3 with the base rank. This is a great way of increasing the items you are selling for additional gold, and with now the Mage Tower, this can further increase your gold. Now last and finally, my biggest gold making craft in alchemy, and one I have praised so much for a lot of my gold, is the Vial of the Sands craft. This recipe is obtained through the use of archaeology from Tol'vir dig sites, and from those sites you have a 10% chance of crafting the canopic jar, which has a 2% chance of containing the recipe, which you must do on an alchemist as this recipe is soulbound. Needless to say that you'll be farming for quite a long time, and I will be doing a video in the future on how to obtain this recipe for yourself. I have done one in the past which you will find in the description of this video, but I am not happy with the quality of the video, so I plan on redoing this video. The Vial of the Sands requires true gold, the Flask of Winds, and the Flask of Titanic Strength, which I can use my masteries on 2 different alchemists to proc additional items to make it so every now and then I am able to gain enough for an even cheaper mount, which in turn increases my gold. With it being profitable already, even more profit is welcome, and as such, this is why I love alchemy. Other than that, guys, have a wonderful rest of the day, and I shall see you in the next video, which will be soon.